Boker or Masechet Bava Kamma Daf Kuvav Amud Aleph. We are now right now asking the following. We just said that if a person is going to come and they are going to kofer b'milve, which means that, for example, I come and I say, listen, I didn't borrow from you. So he's still going to be kasher la'edut. Why? Because the fact that I was trying to buy time. It wasn't that I didn't want to pay you. I'm going to pay you. But I wanted to buy time. But if it's going to be pikadon, it's going to be pasul le'edut. So the Gemara says, V'hamar Ilfa asked, Shivua kona, right? Shivua hu dekanya, v'kfira lo kanya. Says, what are you talking about? If a person comes and he makes a shivua, he makes an oath, shenishba adam liftor et atzmo mitviyah, that he swears that he wants to make himself patur from something. So konelo et mamon, he acquires it. So therefore, the kavanah of Ilfa is that just like to do with kinyat pikadon, right? To be mitchayev be'onsin, it becomes his, that he's now chayav in onsin. And he actually comes and he teaches that the shomer nishbar kfirato bepikadon, right? He comes and he says, right? He says like this, he says, right? In such a case, shivua udikanya, aval kfira udelo kanya. He says, only if you make an oath, is it going to be that you are koneh the pikadon? That means if you come and you say, he swears that it's not, so now it's his. Because now that he swore that he did, that it's not his, now he's obligated in all the onsin. Anything that happens to the pikadon, now he's going to be chayav. But he says, but if he just says, no, it's not mine, right? He's not going to be koneh. So this is obviously not like Rav Sheshat. Rav Sheshat said the fact that you do kfira, you know what kfira is? That you say that it's not mine. That you never gave it to me. Ani kofer. What are you talking about? Exactly, kofer. So in that case, he's already going to be chayav onsin. So answers the Gemara, you're right. Achanami, so to here we're dealing with the Kamma be'agam. That we're talking about that he was in the agam. Another answer, Rabbi Tema. Umay shivua kona. What does it mean now, shivua kona? Ked Ravuna, like Ravuna. Te'ama Ravuna amarav, says Ravuna in the name of Rav. Maneli biyadcha. V'hal omer en lecha biyadi. Somebody comes and he says, by the way, you owe me $100. I have $100 by you. The other guy says, what are you talking about? En lecha biyadi. You don't have nothing by me. V'nishba, he swears. And then comes Edim. Patur, he's going to be patur from paying back, right? Shneimah, but says in pasuk, "Velakach be'alav velo yishalem." What does that mean? The bala pikadon is going to come, and he's taking from the shomer shivua that he's not chayav. He's going to be patur min l'shalem. The kevan shekiblu be'alim shivua. Once they accept upon themselves the shivua, shuver mishalem mamon on pibedin. Then he's not going to pay through bedin. That means even if Edim are going to come afterwards and say that it's not true, he's not going to get money, right? Why? Because the second that he swore, he accepted the vow. That's it. He accepted the oath. So therefore, we say shivua is kona. Yeah, fine. So let's see what the Gemara now says. Gufa amaravuna marav says Ravuna marav. Maneli biyadcha ve'ala omer elecha biyadi krum. The same case. I come and say you owe me $100. He goes, what are you talking about? I don't have anything, but you don't have anything by me. When he shba, he swears. Ubau edim, and then edim come. He's going to be patur from paying back. Why? Betin cannot take the money out of his hands. Because once he swore, that's it. And the guy accepted the oath. Meaning he said, yeah, you swear that, that's it. Once they accept upon themselves a shivua, they're not going to pay money anymore. So Amar Rava comes and he says, Nistabra milte de Rav. It's logical, the words of Rav, milve, to do with the loan. Yad lehotza nitzna. Because it was given out for hotza'ah. Because it was given out for hotza'ah. What does it mean by hotza'ah? For expenses. Okay. So says the Gemara, aval pikadon, right? But pikadon bishute de marekai. We're talking about the pikadon is always going to be in the reshut of the master. Ve ha'elokim amar, right? And the shivua is, it says Rav, right? Afilu bepikadon, right? So he comes and he says, even bepikadon, the chikatav krabas, when the pasuk says bepikadon ketiv, velakach be'alav, velo yishalem, we're talking about pikadon. Okay, fine. So Yativ Rav Nachman the Kamma lahashmata. Rav Nachman was sitting down and he was saying this braita, and he said like this: Eitvei. We have the following question. Rav Acham Bar Menyumin Rav Nachman. So he asked Rav Acham Bar Menyumin to Rav Nachman, Hechan pikdoni? Where's my pikadon? So Amar lo, he comes and he says, Avad. Yeah, it got lost. And I'm put mashbiachani. I want you to swear to me. Yeah. Amar, he says, Amen. He accepts the pikadon. He accepts the shivua. Yeah, he says, Amen. Yeah, it got lost. Ve'edim me'edim oto shachlo. Edim come and they say, he ate it. Well, of course it's lost. He ate it. Yeah. So what happens? Mishalem et hakeren. He has to pay the keren, the principal, but he doesn't have to pay kefel. Why? Because he didn't say it was stolen. He said it was lost. Remember, to pay the chomesh, the kefel, right? Sorry, not the chomesh, the kefel. The chomesh is by the shavua. To pay the kefel by the gneva is only if he's toen ta'anat ganav. If he doesn't, it's not toen ta'anat ganav, he doesn't pay the kefel. If after he made the oath, he's modeh, and he says, no, by the way, you should know, I really ate it. So what happens? Mishalem keren, the chomesh, the asham. He's going to pay keren, the principal, chomesh, the fifth, and an asham. Okay. So says the Gemara, obviously, because anytime that he swears falsely, he has to pay the chomesh and he has to bring a korban asham. Elmaleh Rav Nachman, says Rav Nachman to Rav Achabar ben Yomi, right? He comes and he says like this. He says, what are we dealing with here? When a person comes and he says, he swore outside of Bedin. So since he swore outside of Bedin, he's not going to be mishalem al pi edim. Which means like this: when a person comes and he's going to swear inside of a bedin, and then they find out that it was actually swearing falsely, then he has to pay the chomesh and korban hasham and all these things. But if the shivua was done outside of the bedin, right, it's not enough to take out, right, the money. Okay, that's what he says. It's not enough. Fine. So Elmaleh. So now comes Rav Achabar ben Yomi and tells Rav Nachman, if so. So he must seifa. Let's see the seifa. Hechen pigduni. Where's my pikadon? And he says nignav. It was stolen. So before he said it was lost and really hated. Now he says it was stolen. Mashpiachani. Swear. Amar amen. He says amen. Yeah, he swears. Right? And then they didn't come and they say that he himself stole it. Yeah, he himself stole it. Meshalem tashlume kefel. Here he does have to pay the kefel. Right? Why? Because he stole it. And therefore the fact that he didn't admit, and then he got caught, right? Because they didn't come and they, so that's it. He has to pay kefel. If he's going to be modeh me'atzmo, meshalem keren v'chomesh v'asham, he's going to pay keren, chomesh, and asham, right? Obviously, he doesn't pay kefel, because a kefel, you never pay if you're modeh me'atzmo. Meaning, if a person comes and he says, I stole, he admits on his own, before any witnesses ever come, he never pays kefel.
No keren?
But keren vaday, keren is the principle. Keren is the principle. What? No, here, yes, because he already swore. No, he already swore. Once he swore, he already has to pay the chomesh and the hasham. The hasham is a korban anyway, but he has to pay the chomesh. Yes. Now, if you're going to come and tell me chutz lebedin, that he actually swore outside of bedin, mika kefel. What does that mean? One more time. If the entire case was that he swore outside of bedin, so if he swore outside of the bedin, and now they didn't come, now he's going to be chayav to pay kefel. It's outside of the bedin. Where's kefel outside of bedin? Kefel is only a bedin can enforce kefel. Kefel is a penalty. If you're outside and I'm speaking to you, I cannot enforce a penalty on you. What does that mean? It has to be inside of a bedin. Yeah. So he says, Elmaleh comes and he says, Yachilna l'shayunecha. I could answer you, right? The reisha is a chutz bedin, and the seifa is outside of is in bedin. Sorry, the reisha about that it was lost, and then after that was talking about outside bedin in achenami. But the seifa, which tamal ganav, is inside of the bedin. Miu, however, though, I don't want to answer. It's tochach. Tell you the reisha and seifa. The reisha is talking about outside of the bedin. Seifa is talking about inside of the bedin. It's how do you say dochak? It's like it's not a good answer. It's yeah, if you want, b'diavad. Yeah. So he says, Idi v'idi b'bedin. Really, be'emet, they're both in bedin. V'la kashia, and it's not a question. He says, why? He comes and he says, V'la kashia, kan b'kafatz, v'kan b'shelo kafatz. He comes and he says, in the reisha, we're talking about shu kafatz v'ishpia me'atzmo. He swore on his own before the bedin told him to swear. Okay, the seifa is where Rav was talking about was shelo kafatz, meaning the dayanim were mechayev oto lishavah, and therefore it comes out that the Mishnah is not soter the words of Revi. Why? Because if right now he comes and he's going to be kofetz, meaning he jumps, he swears on his own, right? So therefore, he comes and he says over here, right, that's not the case that the dayanim forced him to swear. So it's a completely different halacha. If the dayanim come and they force you to swear, that's one thing. But if he just comes out, who told you to swear? What's going on? It's not the same halachot. So because of that, he comes and he says, Elmaleh Rami bar Chama le Rav Nachman, says Rami bar Chama to Rav Nachman, Michti, let's see. Rav lo sfira lecha, right? He says, since you don't hold of Rav, but according to you, even if a person is going to swear, he's still going to become patur. If afterwards come edim, they're going to come and they're going to say, well, they're going to bring it back. What's going to happen then? Mushkuni nafshacha Rav lamalach. He says, why are you going to come and put yourself to start answering questions to answer up Rav Keinu? If you don't benka hold of Rav, so what do you care then? So Elmaleh comes and he says, leferusha the Rav hachi mitar. He says, no, I'm only coming to answer up Rav. You're right, I don't hold of Rav, but I'm coming to answer him up. Right? Why? Because that's how Rav is going to learn, right, this Mishnah. So says the Gemara, but one second. But Rav has a pasuk. Rav has a pasuk. If you come and one more time, somebody comes and he says, I have $100 by you. You say, what are you talking about? He says, do you swear? He says, yes, he swore. He's patur. Even if witnesses come afterwards, he's still patur. Why is it he's still going to be patur? The pasuk says, Velakach be'alav velo yishalem. The second that the be'alim accept the shivuah, and the guy made a shivuah that you have nothing by me, right? רק שנייה, אבל לא משנה, אבל ברגע שהוא קיבל את השבועה, הוא כבר פטור לשלם. בית דין לא יכולים להוציא ממון. Why? הוא קיבל את השבועה. It's כאילו that right now you accept the שבועה, that's it, you're done. So Rav has a pasuk. Sa'amri, they said, no, כלל לכל הנשבעים בתורה, הנשבעים ולא משלמים הודעתה. The pasuk is talking about that anybody that swears never pays. That's the general rule, right? Anybody that swears doesn't pay. ולקח בעליו ולא ישלם. מי שעליו לשלם, right? That means the one that's tviyah on him, he's going to be nishma to become patur. But not that it's in this case when you have edim afterwards. Meaning, I come and I say, you owe me money. My word against your word. You say no. I say yes. Yes, no, yes, no. Nobody has proofs. So I come and I make you do a shivua. And the second that you make a shivua, you're patur. Why? Because the second that you come and you make a shivua to exempt, that's it, you're exempt. You made the shivua. לא יכול להיות. רק מי שנשבע לפתור את עצמו. זה לא יעזור הבן אדם שלי. I cannot come.
לא, זה שבועה להגיד את האמת או את השקר. זה השבועה.
מה החידוש רוני?
לא, זה שבועה, נכון?
זה שבועה.
ואם אחרי השבועה,
so, no, doesn't matter. No, one second. That's the general rule. That's the general rule. So the general rule is, the second that you make a shivua, you're patur. You're patur. Why? You swore. That's what the Torah says. However, though, if somebody's going to come and bring a raya chotechet, edim, we never said that. Rav said yes, and Rav learned that from the pasuk. But we're saying no, it doesn't work like that. So Mativ Rav Nuna is going to ask, right? Ishbiya alav chamisha pe'amim. Ben bifnei bedin, ben shelo bifnei bedin. What happens if he comes and he puts him to swear 5 times, right? The kafar alav, and every single time, no. Chayav al kol achad ve'achat. He's going to be chayav on every single one of the shivuot, right? Obviously, Rav is going to hold that no, because it doesn't exist. But that's what he said. No, well, basof.
So
yeah. So he's going to be chayav on every single shivuah. Amar b'Shimon says, "Shimon, ma ta'am hoil b'yachol lachzor v'lodot." Says, why bemet is he going to be chayav on every single one? Says, you know why? Because afterwards he could have actually been modeh, and if he would have been modeh in Medin, right? What would have happened was motzim et mamon, and then there is a chiyuv mamon, and therefore that's it. That's why he would have been patur afterwards, right? So the fact vehacha kafatz lo matzid. Maybe you're going to answer that he jumped up on his own and he swore 5 times. You know how it is. Sometimes the people they want to show that they're innocent, so they swear once, 2. You're like, how many times do you have to swear? You already swore. No, I want to show that I'm telling the truth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hey, what's going on here? Here you can't say kafatz lo matzit amart. He says ishbiya alav ktani. It's written that he made him swear, not shu kafatz ve'ishba. Not that he jumped up and he swore on his own. He forced him to swear. So and maybe you're going to answer it's outside of bedin. Because we just said that outside the bedin doesn't have any force. It says no. It says ishpi alav. The writer says ben bifnei bedin ben shelo bifnei bedin the kafar alav. It was ishpi alav even bifnei bedin. So that means you cannot answer that he kafatz me'atzmo. You cannot answer that it was outside of Bedin. So what are you going to do over here? So says the Gemara, he asked the question, he answered the question. Litztadin ktani. What does it mean litztadin? Hishbi alav chutz betin bebetin kafatz. He says if it was hishbi alav, right, the kavanah was outside of the bedin. And in the bedin, right, was kafatz. Meaning, the first part of the case was, he makes him swear. But when was that? Outside of bedin. The second part of the case was inside of bedin. But what happened inside of the bedin? Inside of the bedin, who kafatz me'atzmo and he swore. He came on his own and he swore. Nobody asked him to swear. He jumped up and he swore. So in such a case, there's no question on the Mishnah and Rav, because we just said that the Shavua is not going to be koneh, was only if the Shavua is al pi dayanim and inside bedin. Meaning, in order for Shavua to take place, first of all, rule number one, it has to be inside of bedin. Rule number two, bedin have to make him swear. If he jumps on his own and he starts swearing, doesn't have the same effect. And if it's outside of bedin and somebody makes him, forces him to swear, it doesn't have the same effect. That's what's going to be very, very important. So Mativ Rava comes and he asks the following question. Balabait shetan tanat ganav bepikadon. A balabait that comes and he's toen tanat ganav by pikadon. Right? One more time. We're talking about a balabait. He comes and he says that it was stolen. Right? That means basically somebody came and he gave it to him like a shomer chinam. And then he comes and he says it was stolen from him. Venishma. He swears that he doesn't have it. Vehoda. Then afterwards he was modeh. That means he was modeh that he himself stole it. Uba edim, and then edim kam. If until before the edim came, he was already modeh, he admitted to the truth. He has to pay the principal. Chomesh ve'asham. Remember, he swore. Once he swore falsely, chomesh ve'asham. But what happens if he only was modeh after the edim came? So now he has to pay tashlum kefel ve'asham. Now he doesn't pay anymore the chomesh. Now he pays kefel. Kefel is double. Remember, chomesh is 20% more, right? But the kefil is double, right? It's much more. So he says, but he has to bring a korban hasham. Why does he have to bring a korban hasham? Korban hasham, 1/5, right? Kefil is kaful. Yeah? No, 1/5. It's 20%. It's 20%. Yeah, it's 20%. 1/5.
בבעם הזה 25?
Yeah.
בבעם הזה 25?
So he comes and he says, and over here, again, the same thing. You cannot say that it's outside of bedin, and you cannot say that he kafatz me'atzmo, that he jumped on his own. So he says kefel ktani. Why? Because we learned kefel. Remember, once we're learning kefel has to be where? In bedin. No, but that's what we're saying. So the fact that it's written kefel, I already know we're talking about bedin. And when it's written that he was, so you can't answer that it was outside bedin. You can't answer kafatz me'atzmo. So what are you going to say? But rather Rava says, kol hoda, anybody that's going to be modeh, lo shna toen tanat avav, doesn't matter whether he said it was lost, doesn't matter whether he said it was ganav, lo amar Rav, right? Then Rav did not say that the shua is partato legamre. But once he's modeh, they take out the money from him. Meaning, the second that he's modeh, they're going to take out the money from him. It doesn't exist, so they're not going to take out the money from him. Taktiv is, it's written vitvada. What is vitvada? He confesses. The buy is shlum, kerem v'chomesh. He has to pay kerem v'chomesh. Right? V'twen tanat ganav, and he's going to be twen tanat ganav. Ubao edim. And then all of a sudden the edim come. Nami no amar Rav. We're not talking about the Rav says taktiv teshlume kefel, because we're talking about teshlume kefel. So ki ka'amar, what are we talking about then, Rav? Shetwen tanat avad. Rav is talking about a case where he said it was lost. Nishba, he swears that it was lost. Velo hoda, he never admitted. And then edim come, and they say that it's not true. So therefore, since right now Rav is going to be modeh, that anybody that's going to be mitvadeh, anybody that confesses, and he's going to be confessed that he was nishba b'sheked, we're not going to say that he's going to be koneh mamon, but we take it away from him, right? So it comes out that we don't have to come and answer up ishbi alav chamisha pa'amim and everything like the way that we did. No. We're talking about really behemet, that the second that he's going to be modeh, the second that he admits, we take the money out of it. That's what we're going to do. So Azal Rav Gamda, he went to Rav Gamda and he said this right in front of Rav Ashi. Amarle, and he said, Ashta now, Umar Rav Amnuna Talmudeh de Rav. Just like Rav Amnuna, right? The Talmid of Rav. V'yada de'amar Rav hoda, and he knows that Rav already says that if he's going to be modeh v'kamoti voda, then he's asking it. V'atamarta hoda lo amar Rav. What's going on? Rav Huna is a student of Rav. If you're going to tell me that this is the pshat in Rav, how could he even ask that question then? It's obvious that if he's modeh me'atzmo, meaning he's admitting it from his own, for sure you could take it out from him. So what are you talking about? That's not the pshat in Rav. If his own student is the one that's saying this. So Amal Ravacha Saba Ravashi, Rav Amnuna, you're right. This is what Rav Amnuna had, the question. Right? Kuvava Mubet. Yeah, 106b. Iyamar Bishama, if you're going to tell me now Nishba, that he swears, Kiatu Edim Chayev, that he's going to be Chayav, Amtu Lehachi, because of the Chavin Korban, you're going to come and obligate a Korban on the last Shavua. Why? Because he could admit in between. Meaning in between each and every single one of these, he could admit. And once he's going to be admitting, so then that's it. It's a completely different halacha. Because remember, in every single one, he could come and he could admit. Ela'i amarta, but if you're going to tell me now that we're talking about Kiyatu Adim Patur, that if the Adim come, it's going to be Patur, does it exist that if witnesses come and they testify, he's going to be Patur? Right? And we're going to come and we're going to obligate him a korban on the Shavua because he could be modeh? Doesn't make sense. How could it be that witnesses come, they say, no, he stole, and he's still going to be patur according to Rav? Why? Because since the guy accepted a Shavua, the guy's patur mil shalem. How could that be? He says, and we're going to obligate him a korban on the Shavua because he could have been modeh, and now we're saying, but at the end of the day, he wasn't modeh. So what's going on then? Right? So how does that work? So obviously we're going to see, right, how it is.